All right, so we're continuing with multiplying decimals by a whole number, and we'll jump right in with a warm-up that just reintroduces general multiplication. So this is not really the way I'd want to show it, but I'm going to show this one of two ways. Um, and I'm going to split this in half here. So on the left here is how you break down multiplication. So this first part here is you got 7 in the ones times 9 by the ones, and we know that's 63. This next part, this 4, that's not just a regular 4, that's actually a 4 in the tens place, so that's 40. So that gives us 280. And then, let's see if I can just move this over, sort of. And then this 1 in the hundreds place is 100, so that's 7 times 100, and that gives us 700. Now if we add everything up, and these are partial products, that means these are a way of doing things. We've got 3, we've got 14, and we've got that. We've got 1043. So that's one way to do it. We've normally taken less steps and done it like this. We just go under the assumption that we know that the 9, 4, and 1 in the first factor are in different place values. 9 times 7 is 63. And then I do 7 times 4 is 28, plus the 4, which is 34. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. So you can see we get the same answer the two different ways, but there's the partial product way, and this over here, we're just going to call this the standard way. I mean, there's a term called standard algorithm, which is super complicated, but you can do your multiplication both ways. So we'll leave it up to you. All right, so nice little warm up. Let's turn to page 313, and we'll just jump right in and work on this. So Padma bought 3 pounds of grapes. Each pound of grapes costs $2.75. How much did Padma spend on grapes? So we can do this a couple different ways. Let's go about it this way. Let's take $2.75 and turn that just into cents. So this is 275 cents. Because basically, when you're working with money, the total there is just cents anyway. And let's multiply this by 3. All right, so we'll do it just like our warm-up. 3 times 5 is 15. 21 plus 1 is 22. And 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. So we have 825. But we got to, and that's 825 cents, which we know that can convert into $8.25. So that's one way to do your decimals. Convert your numbers to whole numbers and do it that way. So again, that's a viable solution. But let's turn the page and talk about a couple other ways we could have done this. We could have done this with graphs and models. So this illustrates the same problem. And right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes. And when we're multiplying, so we have 3 groups of 275. Again, this is a way you could do it, but not too practical. So we've got 6 total, plus if we take this last one and take some of those and distribute them between these two, that gives us two holes, and then we're going to have 75 left. And that gives us we've got our 25 left. That didn't sound right. If we add all those up, that gives us our 825. So modeling is a way we could do it. Not really what we're going to focus on though. This method, while it's valuable, um, simply put, makes things a little more complicated than they have to be, converting between hundredths and ones and tenths. So we're not really going to focus too much on this one. Let's go right over to the next page. All right, to solve the problem, you need to find 3 times $2.75. Estimate the total cost of the grapes. When we estimate, we make the numbers easy to work with. 2.75 is not too easy to work with, but that's really close to 3. So, all right. So we have $9 right there for that. So 3 times $3 is $9. For 2, let's look at picture. How many full grids can we make? We talked about that earlier. We can make 8 full grids. How many squares would be shaded in the partially filled grid? That'd be 2,500, and these would be hundredths. So that would make sense. Look at the model. Let's, how is multiplying with a decimal like multiplying with a whole number? The steps are exactly the same. But we decide where to put the decimal. And we talked about 825 hundredths equals 8.251s. Both picture it, model it, show, for this one, both picture and model it show that 3 times 275 equals $8.25. Is the product reasonable? Yes, because 820. So when you talk about reasonable, that means we have an estimate, and then if our actual answer is close to the estimate, that makes it reasonable. So that's close to our estimate. And explain how to multiply a decimal in the hundredths by a whole number. And you multiply multiply as you would with 2 whole numbers. There you go. All right, skip 7, and let's do some of these problems we have on the back here. All right, Brian makes a row, or excuse me, I went one ahead. Onions cost 65 cents per pound. Sasha bought 4 pounds of onions. How much did she pay for the onions? Show your work. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, we have the 4 pounds and 65 cents per pound. So we've got 4 times, let's ignore this for now. Ignore that decimal point. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 2 is 26. 4 times 0 is 0. We got 2. Okay. So now we have to figure out where to put the decimal point. For this, one of our factors, now remember, if our factors determine where to put the decimal point, this factor uses 2 place values. So our answer should have 2 place values. So our answer should be 2.60, or excuse me, $2.60. So that's one way to look at it. Let's look at this next problem. Brian makes a row of 11 paper clips lined up end to end. Each paper clip is 2 4/8 centimeters long. How long is this row of paper clips? Let's do it this way. 2.48 times 11. We got 8, we got 4, we got 2. And then the next line, we've got to put our placeholder 0. We got 8, 4, and 2 again. Okay. So we got 8, this is 12, 7, this is 2. The place values of your factors determine it. So I've got 2 place values here. So this will be 27.28 centimeters. 2 place values here means 2 place values there. Pretty straightforward. It gets a little more complicated when both factors have decimal points, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. And let's do this last one. What's the product of 14 and 5? I'm going to show this 2 different ways. We've got a little space here. Let's just take 14 times 5. Let's forget that it's even a decimal. And let's see what we get here. We got 20. And that gives me 70. So if I look at these, I've got a 7.42 of 742 thousandths, and I've got 742. It almost makes sense that this is going to have to be the answer, but let's make sure. Let's do 14 times 5.3. Got 3 times 4 is 12. 3, 4. Placeholder 0. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 1 plus the 7. And look at that. I got 742. However, our factors determine the place values. We've got 1 place value here. So this is going to go right there. Right on that spot right there. Good. So that confirms our answer. Okay. Your classwork for today is IXL. It's I7. Multiply a decimal by a 1-digit whole number using the distributive property. I feel this is good practice in learning about how multiplication works, and there'll be a couple different steps there. So again, if you need any help, let me know.